G'day guys, how you going? Alrighty, part two. Let's get this show on the road. So, in part one, basically we went through and did a bit of we created the runbook. We've created some PowerShell for that. We've obviously set up our resource group and created automation accounts, logic apps in Azure. Now it's time to actually go ahead and obviously configure the runbook worker. That was something that we had issues with yesterday. I did a bit of research. Edge is not a really good supported product for OMS, login analytics in Azure. It has some issues, so that's fun. But at the same time, though, it's a good learning experience. So obviously, I've just got the I've got Firefox open, and hopefully, I've got the login analytics settings that I need to get up. So we got that. Also, I had a bit of a play around with the Google Authenticator app last night just to get a bit of an understanding of how it worked, and it's actually very interesting reading. It's a little bit over my head. It's taken me a little while to get my head around some of it. I'm not going to say I'm over all of it, but it's actually quite an interesting concept of how that entire process works. So on a high level, basically what it does is you have it's just it's essentially just a mathematical calculation that it does, which basically generates a 6-digit PIN based on your Unix epoch time. Now, what happens is obviously you've got that RFID thing, which you can obviously the RFID image, which you can put on your phone, and that basically then obviously from that the Google has the same thing or has the same site, and what the mutual token is basically a secret key, which I actually was had a bit of a what you call a bit of a boo-boo, and I thought you could just pump anything in as a secret, but no, you can't. It's a very specific. It has to be it's a very specific string. I've actually had a bit of a read about it. So if we have a look, so when we actually go new Google Authenticator secret, you can actually create a secret code, or you can just generate a new one. So in here, if we have a quick look, if the secret's provided, then use it. Otherwise, we need to generate a new one. If it contains key, use the secret code. So obviously, we're going to create a new secret code. So the base 32 secret, use the secret code. Yep. And this is basically how it generates your secret. So it's it gets the byte array, and it's a specific byte array that it needs to actually generate. So and new secret length. I think secret length is 10. Yep. Byte array for secret. Okay, so it just generates a 10-bit, a 10 byte length. And then we're passing into a crypto service provider. It's then joining it together by converting to string. Join. To string, byte array of string. 5 bits of character don't align with the 8 bits per import, so careful code. Yeah, this is what was catching me out. 5 bits per character doesn't align with 8 bits per byte input, so it needs to be careful to take some bits from separate bytes, because we're in a scripting language. Let's dodge that work. Instead, let's convert the bytes to just a straight simple string, a byte style string. And then basically we're going to use regex to get the groups of 5 bits, convert those to integers, look up as an integer in the base 32 character set, and resulting string. So yep, got the thing. Yep, string format that. Okay, yep, get the 5 bits from that. If it matches, yep, convert match.value. Okay. Yeah, so it's quite in depth, but it's actually still it's a really good fundamental in terms of understanding how it all works. It's a little bit over my head. I'm probably gonna have to spend a bit more time trying to understand it, but yeah, it's still pretty cool. So I'll just give you a bit of a demo of this because it's actually quite interesting. So what we got here is, I'm just going to fire up my phone, get the Google Authenticator app out. I'll just use the Google Authenticator app because it saves me having to use the Microsoft one because I've got my Microsoft one for all my work stuff. So we can just delete that and yep, remove it. I don't really care. Begin setup, scan barcode. So first thing we need to do here is we can just go get new Google Authenticator secret and just go straight like that online. And what that will do is generate. Well, we've got to actually run the code first. Don't tell me it's having Unicode issues again. This is always the fun part when it doesn't run properly. I think it's having Unicode issues. Missing in parameter list. That's a comment. I'm just going to recopy it. That's fine. So what I'll do is just reopen it on this. Go with that. Let's try rerun it. Okay, that's running now. So we've just loaded that into memory. Now we can actually go ahead and execute it. So if we go up here and we just run it again. Line. Okay, that's fine. Okay, let's try that again. There we go. So what we get is a image. So I'll just quickly drag this over here. So you can see here we've got a RFID code. That RFID code is basically a generated code. As you can see here, we've got our secret, and then we've got our key URI and our QR code URI. So once we have the code, basically, then Google obviously is aware of it. We can use our phone to do our actual PIN or our MFA. So what we can do is I'll take a capture of that. You guys can take the same capture, and as you can see, it is 800478. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's 800478. So now if we actually do using the secret, because that's basically the important part. So if we get just enter down, if we get Google Authentic, and then we just go there and paste, you can see it's 800478 with 9 seconds left, and then it's going to tick over and it's about to expire, and now it's going to be 797638. So there you go. Look at that. That's cool. It's really cool. Okay, so that's basically Google Authenticator. It's actually really quite cool. The guy wrote it. It's actually, yeah, it's really cool. Yeah. So we're just gonna. It's obviously it can be used in certain circumstances with obviously workflows and things like that where you want to have that kind of thing. But realistically, you would just write this in C# and then basically pull the actual Google Authenticator NuGet package. You wouldn't have to worry about writing this from scratch. So now we can actually go ahead and create our install our OMS instance. So got my thing there. I'm just going to delete that. Don't need that. I'm going to download it on my Firefox account. You can get rid of that. So now I'm just going to download the OMS agent like so. Did it download? There we go. So that's just downloading. That's nearly done. So let's grab that. Let's place that there. So we've got a MOM agent that we're installing now. So this is basically connecting to our log analytics. So you can still see that it's still called OMS. It's quite hilarious. Workspace ID, workspace key. So I'm just going to chuck them in. So they'll basically be in your advanced settings. So yeah, you just need to basically go in there in another browser except that other than Edge, because Edge doesn't work properly. So now I've got that. You want to use Microsoft Update? Well, I might as well. Like, we're not going to be using this stick and figure this long, so we're going to install this. Once we've installed that, we can actually now then create our we're going to create our we'll go to the PS gallery, get our OMS installer. Oh, sorry, our hybrid runbook worker installer, and we're going to install that. So we got that done. Now we can go control panel. We should see our OMS settings in here. Microsoft Monitoring Agent. So you can see in here we've got our log analytics instance connected. It's happy. There's no issues with it. Fantastic. Obviously, there's my machine. Now that's going to start pushing data into logging and analytics, but for the time being, we don't need to worry about that. We're just going to basically go ahead and install. We're going to go to the PowerShell gallery and install that. So the first thing we need to do is make sure we open up Internet Explorer. Turn down all the settings, because what happens with connecting for when we're actually doing an OAuth connection with Azure, it blocks it, and then we have issues. So obviously I'm admin PowerShell. We'll run as an administrator like so. So we've got our PowerShell. Now this is actually a really interesting part. I'm going to jump back to my portal. We're going to go to my login analytics, go runbooks. I always have to reread this. It's just something that, like, I keep doing it enough, but I don't remember it. So if we go configure, so if you go to hybrid runbook worker, you can go to configure, and it gives you information on how to install it. So if we go back here, you can see this is how you install it. Remove a hybrid runbook worker. It's quite easy. Configure it, so we can configure our role. These are the following things we need open. So that's just 443 outbound. These URLs. These are the regions that's talking to. Update management endpoints. And there is deploy Windows runbook hybrid runbook worker. So we can do an automated deployment. So we just go to the gallery here. We can just grab that. Come back here, paste that in. Yes. Yes. Okay, so once that's done, we should be good to go. So what? So yes again, like so. Alrighty, so that's done now, installed it. So now let's go back to our Docker. So we've downloaded it. Yep, we've got our Azure automation account name, mandatory is the name of your automation account. The AAD group name, OMS group name, hybrid name, subscription ID. So once we've done that, we might as well just, I generally just, we might as well throw this up in an ISC session because it makes it a bit easier. So what we can do is just do that, so I can kind of get a bit of an idea of what I need to put in. I'm just going to break this down so we can kind of see it all on one screen. So you can see there, we got that one. Just going to do that. That. Okay, so first thing we need is our automation account name. So our automation account name is, if we go back here, is automation account name. So we've got overview. I think it's just PowerShell server. I'm pretty sure that's this, but I just wonder if I just want to make sure. Properties. Yeah, there it is there. That's my automation account name. Perfect. So we can paste that in there, like so. AAD resource group name. Okay, so this, I believe, OMS resource group name. Okay, this is my name of resource group. Okay, that's easy. So resource group is BrizPug. I should put make sure. Let's wrap that in the string. Remote resource group is BrizPug. Like so. Hybrid runbook worker. Let's just call it hybrid world. Like so. Subscription ID, Azure subscription. Name of log analytics workspace. Okay. So name of the, so then we got the Azure AAD resource group name. What was that one? The resource groups that associated with your automation account. Okay, so is that the actual name or is that the ID? I'm pretty sure it's the name, but just want to be 100% sure. So, I think it is. So if we go back here, it's just BrizPug. So we'll just do that. Actually, just copy and paste that. Then we've got, so we've got that. I don't think this the things are right, but that's fine. Subscription ID, this is Azure subscription ID, so that's fine. I think that's actually in here. There's my subscription ID. That's right there. And name of the logging analytics workspace. So my workspace name is, I think it's Cats Are the Best. Yeah, there they are. It's Cats Are the Best. So if we just copy that like so. I think. Alright, let's give this a go, see what happens. Everything failed. Oh, it's because the terms don't. Okay, so let's just do that. No, that's fine. I feel like it's still not going to work, but let's just give it a go. Yeah, okay. Hybrid work. Okay, that's fine. We'll just drag it all out. That should work because it's backticked. I'm missing something. What am I missing? It doesn't matter. So let's just try run that. Okay. The term that. Oh, okay. I know why. I haven't actually browsed to that. Okay, so we need to actually go to that part in the gallery. Where did that install? Where did you install to? Yep, 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 yep. Okay, where did you install to? That's where it is. I think that's. Where did it go? We installed it. Where did it go? Unless it's only on here. Nope. Where did you install? There's no script. Okay. Where did it go? Let's run it again. See where it downloaded to. That's good. Pretty sure it's under, where does it install to? Runbook worker, download, yep, new, yep. Bet you it's under here somewhere. Where did it go? This is always the story of my life. I'm demoing something and then I just can't find it. That's where it should have gone. Why did it install there? Unless I need to just run it as PowerShell. Let's try that. I don't think that's correct because I'm pretty sure you have to run it as administrator. Let's just try run it. Oh, it's running as administrator anyway. I think there's anything in there. No, there's not. Okay. This is a pain. Where the hell did it go? I like that. 2 cores, 4 gig of memory. Okay. That should have done it. Where is it? I'm just gonna have a quick look in here. So I have a sneaking suspicion it might be in here, but it shouldn't be. It's just a script. Yeah, I didn't think it was. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Okay. Let's just go have a quick find of it. We'll just have a quick look and search. We'll just use get child item. Get child items filter always can. It always is one of those very flaky ones. Yeah, no. Examples. It's a good example. Yeah, okay. It's just a string, alright. We'll just try and... I'm just going to have a quick look on my other... while I'm doing that, I'm just going to do a quick... okay. There's a lot of PS1s. With that, I'm just going to have a quick squeeze at my other machine. Did that return something? No, that didn't. That's fine. I always love it when you go to do something and it just never works the first time. The demo gods are not being happy with us. Not being happy with us at all today. I was hoping that they would be alright, but not, it seems. Not like it at all. That's fine. That's fine. So I just need to have a look at my other implementation, and that'll tell me where it is. So I'm pretty sure it was on there. Windows PowerShell scripts install. No, it's not in there. Okay. So where is it run from? It's always good when you have another machine that you can kind of use. Okay, let's just try this. .new. Where did it go? I might be missing something. So, yep. Did it? I'm adamant it installed it. No, apparently it's not there. Well, that's good. It's another fun morning. Yeah, just that's what it's like. So it should be there, but it's not. Just going to install on my core and see what happens. Yeah, okay, so it needs admin rights. Okay, so that's fine. Let's try that. Yes. Ah, there you go. Action places scripts in this. Alright, let's have a look in there. PowerShell scripts. Okay. Have a quick squiz in there. So, see program files, PowerShell scripts. What was it? See program files, Windows PowerShell scripts. Bingo! So that's where it's stored. It's good to know. So if you guys are trying to find it, that's where it is. Alright, so I'll just browse to that now. After spending my life trying to fix this. So yeah, okay. Okay, so we're just going to kick that off. That's going to download all our bits and pieces and get that sorted. It's going to take a little while. So while we're waiting for that, let's configure our logic app and get that sorted. So if we jump back into our instance, we've got our BrisPug here. We've got our Authenticate Logic app. So first thing we need to do is go to Logic App Designer. We have multiple types of common triggers that are available. The one we really want is just HTTP request response. So what we can do is use this template. We now need to generate a schema. So easiest way to do that is, for me, it's if we're just sending username, password, and MFA. I generally kind of just put together a bit of a hash table, JSON, and then we can just define what we want. So we just go username is equal to test. Doesn't need to be anything. We're actually just generating a schema. Password is test. MFA pin. Pin is equal to test. So like so, F8. And dump out string. So once we've got that, we can then just quickly grab that back to our Logic App Designer. Just use the sample payload, it'll be going, yep, it's type object, properties, username, MFA pin, password, perfect. So now that's basically, these will be stored as objects within the logic app. Our response is just, we're just going to have a 200, there's no issues there. It's not going to be that complicated. As you can see in the background, it's installing a whole bunch of different products. So once we're doing that, we're going to now add automation. So just do that. Automation. I'm going to create a job. I'm going to need to sign in into. I love how it's got 2 default directories. So this is going to be fun. I'll just quickly sign that in now. I need to clean up my tenant, really do. I hope it's the bottom one, because if it's not, then it's going to be a pain in the backside. So once that's done, so just waiting for that to connect. Create. No, my luck's probably going to be the other one. It's usually how it is around this time when you're doing any sort of demo. It's the other way. As you can see, we're installing Azure RM, the actual PowerShell module, and it's just going through and it's installing all those bits and pieces in the background here. So just unhighlight that because it'll pause the script. Let's get going. So the next thing we're doing is we're waiting for this to complete. Okay, well that's completed. We might as well sign this bad boy in, so I'm just going to do that now. Just going to get my token. Approve it. So that's now continuing with the install. So fun, timeout. All right. As you can see, I got a whole bunch of random ones. Let's try this one. The waiting game. It's always the best. So once we've done that, we should be pretty much ready to actually start our initial tests. And then from there, we should be able to start then. Once we've got our testing working, we can start working on building our website. So that's going to be the, I won't say the most challenging part, but that'll probably be part 3. Part 2 is just going to obviously be getting this process running, getting this testing working. This is having quite a long time. It's taking quite a long time to complete. Failed with timeout. I'm just going to refresh it, discard the edit. Let's see if I can. Yes. Let's go back to our blades. Same thing, generate that, copy that. So automation, create a job. Just going to try it again. Hopefully this time it works. Allow access. Come on. Come on. Is it? I don't know if it's going to want to play ball. Come on. Well, while you're waiting for that, this other one's up. It's still just waiting for the registration to complete. Oh, group name and can contain letters, numbers. Okay, that's fine. So we can just go hybrid group name. Let's just get rid of that space like so. Okay. That's fine. Go back. To be honest though, the script's pretty much done most of the work anyway now, so we could actually just register it, but for the sake of just doing this, just gonna... What was it called? Oops. Windows PowerShell, one word. I can just rerun it again, that's fine. While I wait for that, let's go back to this. Okay, yeah, we just need to rejoin that, that's fine. Needs to connect. Okay, that's done. So that's rerunning again. This should be working. I've got two default directories. If I have a look at my tenant, how many directories do I have? Default. Okay, so I have two default directories. One of them is my mates. That needs to change. That needs to change. That's the reason why I'm trying to authenticate onto another one. So pretty sure it's this one. I just have really terrible tenant names. Let's try and sign in again. Allow access. Worst comes to worst, I'm just going to connect with the service principal. But I don't particularly want to because that's going to take me ages and I have to relearn how to get all that to work. I want to kind of get this done ASAP. So, see how this is going along there? Yeah, you can see that it's accessing info. That's fine. Okay, I'm gonna have to do some research. I think I might have to connect with the service principal. Oh, okay, alrighty. It's time to actually do some troubleshooting. This is fun. It's always fun when you can't sign into your tenant. I don't understand why it's not letting me. Maybe I'm just gonna get rid of that tenant. I don't need it, so I'm gonna see if I can get rid of that director, that tenant. Or if at least I can rename mine to something else, that basically makes it a bit easier. I think that might be the better way to go. So, home. High contrast, region, yeah, English, blah blah blah. Okay, we need to do it inside of Active Directory. That's fine. Let's go have a look at Active Directory. Azure Active Directory. I don't want to see that. Properties. Directory properties. Default directory. The real one. So I'm just going to refresh this. While that's happening, I'm just going to refresh my Azure tenant. I'll refresh the page. Hopefully I can actually see my directories now. Nope, still not. This is fun. Fun. How long is this going to take? Oh, it looks like it might take a little while. Just wait for it to complete and then we'll continue on. While we're waiting for that, we might as well carry on here. What's going on here? Group name only contain letters, periods, hyphens, and underscores. Parameter name, group name, actual value was set hybrid world. Oh crap, I did it again, did I? Oh, I did too, whoops. And well, that was a bit of a boo-boo. Let's do that again. Oh great, let me go back here. Go to directory C / program files / Windows PowerShell / scripts. Hybrid world is one word. Go! Alright, going to hopefully third time lucky. Just quickly sign in again. Okay, back we go. That's while it's running. That can do what it needs to do and get rid of this. We don't need this anymore. Once that's happening, hopefully it will finish itself. Waiting for my directory to be updated because having being part of multiple tenants just with default in it is really awesome. So we've got that going for us. Once we've got that done, then I can actually write some code. Waiting for this to update. I honestly don't really want to have to troubleshoot this anymore. I just want it to work. That's the main thing. I just want it to work. Azure Active Directory. Yeah, it's still stuck there. It's still updating. How long is it going to take to update? 3 minutes. Been waiting 3 minutes. Okay, while that's happening, might as well actually start to think about our website. It's going to be pretty basic. I'm thinking just a bit of a header, no CSS style. I'm just going to have a basic form and a bit of JSON in the a bit of JavaScript in the background. That will make sure that it'll do the REST queries and the MFA. So what we can do for the time being is we can at least test once the hybrid runbook worker is working. We can actually test our PowerShell. We can just run that straight off the PowerShell server itself. So we can run it off our hybrid runbook worker because we can just copy and paste it in, make sure it works. If it works, then we're good to go. Once that's done, then we can obviously plug in our logic app. Once that, I actually have a good understanding of which default directory I'm part of and I'm trying to connect to. And once we have that, then basically I can start working on with the web interface. I have a sneaky suspicion I'm going to have to troubleshoot this connection issue a little bit further, so I might just have to use a service principal instead. I don't particularly want to have to because that's something that I'm not sure exactly what permissions I need to configure in terms of when I create the app registration. But live streaming, we've got to get stuff done, so I've got to get it done. So we're done. So the beauty about it now is if we jump back into our tenant, if I go into resource groups, we can have a look at our Azure Automation account. So if we go to BrisPug, so then we just drag that back in, we go to our PowerShell server. So as you can see here, if we go runbooks, we've got our runbook authentication. And if we go down here, wherever it is down here, hybrid runbook worker groups, we can actually see we got our worker. There's our worker, happy as a bumblebee. We can actually configure some settings in here as well, which is really good. So you can actually run the hybrid runbook worker as a custom run as credential. That's per hybrid runbook worker group. So if you've obviously got many machines in that one hybrid runbook worker group, you need to make sure that that credential is consistent across all those three machines. So if it's not a domain, that's fine. Yeah, I'm tired. So we've got it there now. So what we can actually start to do is we can actually start to test our code. So we're connected our machine now. So if we go down here, just close that one. We've got our machine and we're good to go. So first thing we need to do is we've got our scripts. We got our new. If we go down, see, we need to copy our code. So let's go back to Visual Studio, wherever it is. Close that one. Here we go. Get out of debug. Go back to here. Let's have a quick look. Reveal Explorer. Grab our code. Like that. Just going to paste that in here. Not a shortcut. So I've got my helpers, runbook, user account. So what I'm going to do is just quickly fire this up. Just want to make we can basically adjust these variables. So if we just say helper path is equal to blah, helper path user profile path is equal to blah. So these, remember, the user profile path is an actual path. So we just copy as path like so. And the helper roles are in here. So we just grab that, put that like that, and obviously throw a quick slash on the end just to make sure I'm not using any join paths or anything. So yeah. So once we've done that, now we can actually test our product, make sure it works. So let's whack a debug item in there. Let's test these items. So first thing, obviously it compiles. That's always a good start. What's our username? We can actually, we'll just step through. We're just going to go test, test, and the pin is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So get automation variable doesn't work because we're not obviously running this inside a runbook, but we've obviously catered for that fact, so that's fine. I now just need to check to make sure I've got my .sourced item. So easiest way is get Google Authentication pin. There it is there. Look at that. Perfect. So that's .source those helpers in. What are the two helpers we had? Test object property, I think. And yep. So if I go test object property, you can see that that's there as well. Now we're testing if the user exists. And we can't find that path. So that's our next step. So we just quickly rerun that. Username, that doesn't really matter. Password. MFA 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever. Let's have a quick look at this path. C scripts, user account, demo user.json. That should exist. Okay, so there's my first bug. I didn't actually reverse it. So it's obviously it does exist. So it is returning an incorrect result. We just need to wrap that inside a not condition and to reverse the result. So that should be fixed. Let's jump into here. Let's just go test. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So like so. You can see we've now jumped that. We're going to load that in. So let's just have a quick look. Let's see if we can load that in. I'm going to the user object. User object didn't work. That's not good. So why didn't it work? I'm just going to quickly run it, see what's in there. Is there anything in there? That's actually the question that we need to ask. Is there anything in there? There's nothing in there anyway. That's why it didn't work. So you can see here, absolutely diddly squat. So that's fine. So we can fix that by going back here. Oh, don't tell me I didn't actually save it. Oh boy, that's a pain in the backside. I think I might have not saved it. Oh god, okay, that's going to be a headache. So we had a whole bunch of different, we're going to need to rebuild this object. So, what was it? Let's have a quick look at the code, because the code's going to tell us pretty quickly what it was. Test object property. So we've got username, passwords, MFA, cool data. So there's our, at least we got that going for us. So what we need to do is quickly generate a string. We can just generate an app object. So what we can do is Shift F5, stop that, create a quick hash table. Just going to build these out. So we've got username, that was an object. We've got password, not passwords. We need to fix that in the code. MFA secret key and cool data. We don't even need to really return cool data. We can just return. Oh yeah, let's just return some cool data, and we'll just put a hash table in that saying data is equal. This is cool data, like so. MFA secret key. So we need to generate a secret key. So what we can do here is we can just go get Google. Get Google Authenticator. No, new Google Authenticator secret. It's generating a secret. Well, we just run that again and run it online. So like so. You guys can come follow me with this one at home. So we're going to go to the Google Authenticator app. I'm just going to add that barcode entry like so. I actually really should have made note of which one's what, because I have two of the exact same. So let me just edit mine here and we'll delete it. Delete. Yep, remove accounts. Begin. Scan barcode. So I'm being quite lazy here. So the pin's 877055 at the moment. That's fine. So I'm going to grab that. That's going to be my MFA secret key. My password's just going to be password. And my username's going to be let's just call it Barry.white, like so. So we've got our object here, like so. Just quickly make sure. Oh no, I'm not doing that. Just go hash table. Just want to make sure that it converts to JSON. I think it will. I know it will, but I just want to make sure it looks right. That looks fine. Yep, that's fine. That's fine. All right. So now I can just jump back in here, paste that in like so, like that. I'm also going to paste that back in here so I don't lose it again. And then once we've done that, how is our rename going? It's still updating. That's fine. So we can quickly debug this for a little bit further. So basically we've got, we need to test our object properties. So we're just going to go username blah, passwords blah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're testing our object properties. Easiest way to do this, to find out whether it works, is just actually run the command line inside it. Parameter cannot be found with the name properties. Okay, it's property. I stuffed that one up. So if I go, false, doesn't exist apparently. That's fine. I'll just wrap this inside an array like so. Yeah, it should be fine if it's passing a. Should know it's an array. I just want to test if it's a PowerShell array type issue. Okay, that's fine. I'm just gonna go like so. Fix that. Shift F5 that. Paste that like that. Oh, it's just property, so we can just go like so. We got that. Now we can rerun it. Blah blah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're just gonna have a look at the user object. Username, password, MFA, secret key, cool data. They all exist. So let's just step through and have a look at what's going on here. So each property and property, which one's failing out? It's inherently true, is it? Yep. So if it's hash table, if it's not that, which object was it? Oh, what property? Passwords. Ah, there we go. We got caught out. This code was running perfectly. Sweet. So go back here, change that to password. Like so. Run that again. You can see now if we run this through, that should just jump down there. So I'm going to drop a breakpoint there. User validation failed. What's it whinging about now? Does the user object still exist in memory? Yep, okay, so we can just quickly run this to make sure it's nothing else. That's true, okay. Okay, so what I need to do is flip it because it's now evaluating to be true, so it needs to be not, it's false. So now if I rerun it, like so, yep, now we're down in this good part. So this is going to evaluate to be false. It's not equal, yeah, sorry, it's not equal. So that's fine. That'll fail out. So now I actually have to run barry.white. So like so. So username, that should be fine. Yep, Google Authenticator PIN, secret, that. So I'm just going to quickly run that, make sure that's working. So PIN should be 303926. Yep, that's correct. Is equal to MFA PIN, ASAD, incorrect MFA. That's correct. Oh, no, it's not. It's not equal. Fixing that. So now that's fixed. Save that, run that. You can see that that's failed out. So now if we run it with the correct MFA pin, password, I'll just go 123, and it is 009497. Incorrect MFA. Okay, something's not right there. I think I might just need to format that output. That's fine. So it's now 254725. Let's just have a quick look at what it's formatting. I think it's because I'm not. Yeah, okay. So I need to go like something like pin code. And replace spaces with nothing, like so. That's what we need. Shift F5, paste that in. So it's a little bit more cleaner. So make sure my brackets are in the right spot. Yep. So let's rerun that. White. Password 123. So we're looking at the MFA pin now, which is and 968950. Now let's just quickly run that. I'd like to run it just because if it doesn't work, see, it's evaluated to be false, which is fine because the pin's true. So if we quickly go through that, Shift F9, that's fixed. Now we just need to validate the password, which is case sensitive. So that'll fail out. Incorrect username or password. Please try again. So now we should be actually good to go and actually run the script. So we just run that whole thing through and we should just get a whole dump out of that object. So it's Barry.white/password is password lowercase p. MFA pin is 6. Oh, it's about to turn over. We'll just give it a 6, 7. And there we go. There's my cool data. So that actually worked really well. You can see that it did a whole bunch of different things there. So we validated the username, validated the password, and validated the MFA. We did the username first and then the MFA because basically it's just either way, it doesn't really matter. But I just do the username and password. Password's last. And then MFA. So good to go. So that script's pretty much ready to run now. Once hopefully my tenant sorts its life out, which it's still renaming. So what we can do now is we can actually update this code. So we can get rid of that. And we can paste that back in like so. So if we jump back in our runbooks, just go edit, grab all that, biff that off, and save and publish. So now we should actually be good to run it from a from the actual runbook. But before we do that, I just want to have a quick squiz at the variables. C scripts PowerShell. I just want to make sure that they're correct. It's just turned 9:30. We've gone to super blue mode now. Yeah. All right, so yeah, that'll be fine. So if we now go back to our runbooks, we can actually run this runbook now. So if we get start, we go username and password. So wait, I've just got to log in my phone. Okay, so username is Barry.white. Password is, it's clear text. Don't hate me. I'm just, obviously, this is just a demo. And our MFA pin is 867110. So if we push it to our hybrid runbook worker, I don't think this is going to work because it is going to take a little longer to push down and then come back. So it's probably going to say incorrect MFA pin. That is a bit of a problem because the fact that hybrid runbook workers don't run immediately. They basically are queued as a runbook job. So it's not the best product. So you can see, oh, cannot find the path. Well, that means we've got an issue in the variables. So let's have a quick look back at the variables. Might have gotten something wrong. Helper path. I think that's wrong. Yeah, I think that's wrong. Let's just jump back on our runbook, hybrid runbook worker. So just do that. Like so, save. I'm going to do the other one just to be 100% sure. We're not going to get stuck with any issues. Hybrid runbooks, auth. There's my JSON file with my terrible user account in there. Oops, no. Back as that, copy as path. Save, get rid of this quotes, save that. So, PowerShell server. Yep, so if we go back to our runbooks, we can run this runbook now. So, if we target Barry.white, password is password, pin is 448359, hybrid runbook worker, target, it should be good to go. That should have executed and returned. Yep, there we go. Perfect. So that's that done. So that's basically validated it, and then you can see there's the MFA secret key. So we're pretty much, that's that part sorted. The next part what we need to sort out now is the hopefully my tenant and get the logic app working. Once the logic app's working, we can then actually access this runbook over a REST interface. I'm not just creating a webhook, just trigger it once. I'm actually wanting to grab the output. So let's do that. So what we need to do now is check on our directory services rename, and it's still happening. I think sometimes Azure is not the most great environment. It can be quite, no one would say tricky, but it can be quite annoying to deal with, especially when I'm trying to create some logic apps. So I'm just going to try and recreate this logic app, see how we go, and hopefully we can get this to work, because it's trying to rename a tenant, which is not really liking it at the moment. So if we go back to authenticate, so make sure we're cleaned out, runtime confidence, fast throughput. We can specify retentions. Okay, cool. Okay. Automation script. Okay. Yep, that's fine. Alright, so let's go and have a look at, as you see, the blade just decided to run around. I actually might try this in a different browser, because I know I'm doing this in Edge right now, and I do have a feeling that Edge is really terrible for this. So give me a few seconds. I'm actually thinking it might just be Edge having a bit of a fit. So I've got Firefox in this other window. I'm just going to go and have a look at it. BrizPug. Authenticate. So I have a sneaky suspicion it's to do with Edge, because Edge is just really edgy. So if we just quickly, we're going to need to rebuild that string. So we go here, grab that. I do have a sneaky suspicion it's going to be Edge. Edge is causing my grief. Okay, pasted that in. I'm just going to join them, and then from that, I am going to hope that this works. Create a job. Oh, look, it's renamed it. I can actually see my default tenant. Sign in. It's capitalized. MZ, default directory. Can't get any more default than that. This is the default one. Yeah, allow access. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Perfect. It was tutored Edge. Edge is being a pain. So, we're going to BrizPug. Automation account is PowerShell server. We're going to wait for the job to complete. I'm going to add some parameters. Hybrid runbook worker, runbook name. So I'm just going to drag this over so you guys can see what I'm looking at. So obviously it's now moved there. So yeah, Edge. Don't use Edge for Azure. It's just terrible. That's going to be my go-to. So now we can specify our hybrid runbook automation workgroup name, and our runbook name. So we're just going to set our runbook name. It should actually pre-fill now the parameters. Wait for it to come back. We need to specify a runbook name. Yeah, so we've got our parameters, so we can just pass them through. So username, our password, and an MFA pin. Now we're going to specify a hybrid runbook worker name, which, if we go back to Edge, it's BrizPug, PowerShell server, runbooks, authentication. No, we're going to hybrid runbook works. Hello, hybrid world. We're in hybrid world, and we're loving every second of it. Obviously, pains are really painful. Add an action. So now we're going to just go to automation. We're going to get the job output. So we just go to subscription, Bruce Pug, automation account, PowerShell server, get the job ID, so we can just get the GUID like from there. And from that, we can then put that in our response body. So now we can just add our response body like so. We can just go get the job output content like that. So that's basically it. So we're creating a runbook, getting the output, pumping the response back. This doesn't need to do any formatting. PowerShell's doing that for us. So it simplifies the process a little bit. So we can save that. We can run it. So let's what we can do now is we can actually test this process. So we can jump back in our console and trigger a response and see what happens. So see how we go. See how we go. All right. So when we get our URI, copy that bad boy. That's our URI. Perfect. Okay, so we've got our URI, we've got our items. So now if we do, we've got our, obviously we've got our, let's just call this body. I'm just going to convert that to JSON. And now if we do an invoke REST method type is post. URI is URI and body is body. This should give us a nice response. I would say this is going to fail spectacularly. Invoke REST method cannot validate URI. Oh, okay, I need to execute these items. Like so, let's rerun it. So you can see now it's executing that. If we actually have a look at the logic app, we can actually see here. If we have a look at any sort, if we refresh it, we should see some runs. Yeah, we can see there's a run happening. Yeah, there's the identifier. So now if we go back, we've got our response. It's probably just going to say, nah. Oh, no response. Okay, something's not right. So what's going on there? So it succeeded, but nothing was handed back. So you can see there, we got a 200, but we didn't actually get any response. We got a status code of 200, so something's not right. So next thing we need to check is it something to do with the runbooks? So if we jump back to our runbooks, we can have a look at our status of our runbook. So, we got a failed item. What is failed and why did it fail? So if we go input, these are our input. We don't actually have an input value, so we need to figure out why that's happened. And we have our errors, which is basically no streams found. If it's failed right then and there, it just means that there's an issue with the input. So the logic app. So if we go back to the logic app, let's have a quick squiz at it. So we've got our raw outputs. You can see there's the key, there's the test, there's the test. So username, test, MFA, pin, password, test. Okay, so it might even be the fact that what we have here, properties, MFA, pin, username, password, create the job, runbook parameters. Yeah, they're all null, so there was nothing passed into them. So let's have a quick look at this. It might just be due to the fact that we didn't run it properly or we did something wrong. So if we go and have a look at what we're supposed to put in there. So we've created our job. So we've passed those items into it. That's why. The reason why it didn't work is because I didn't specify the content header. I'll show you what I mean. This got me out before, this is the reason why. So if we go back here, it'll give you this nice little pop-up and say, don't forget to set your content type header to application JSON. So if we go back here, go content type, just paste that back like so. Now we're happy. So you can see we run it. It's going to fail out, but that's fine. And then from that we can test. Hopefully, once we've done that, we're good to go, and we'll be actually ready to do some really cool stuff. So from that, let's have a quick squiz at some bits and pieces here. So we've got our response. Incorrect username password. Sweet. So basically, runbook's executed. Now we're actually ready to do some cool stuff. So now we're actually going to invoke our request. We're just going to go username, and let's just call it Barry.White. Password is password. MFA pin. We're going to have to work really quickly here because it takes a little while for it to go through its authentication. So it's always best to do it right at the beginning, which is 425687. Like so. Let's run it. And hopefully this should respond and say, ah. So I'm hoping we're good to go. Okay, while that's doing that, I'm just trying to fix my chat because my chat's broken at the moment for some reason. Look at that! Fantastic! It's working. Cool. Okay. Yep. Now my chat's working. Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. Okay. So now we've got our bits and pieces. We can basically we've got the point A. We're basically starting to connect the rungs. So we've got our PowerShell in our Azure automation running hybrid runbook worker, which is triggering PowerShell scripts and basically passing back and forth. To trigger it, we've got our webhook flow set up so that basically Logic app will then trigger the Azure automation runbook, which will trigger the hybrid runbook worker. So the final step in this piece now is we get to run and write some cool JavaScript to actually trigger the item. So what we need to do now is we actually need to build a web form, which this actually should, I'm going ahead of time, which is even better. So what we can do here is we're going to make a web form. So if we jump back into VS Code, now we get to do some web dev. Web dev is not my usual cup of tea, but we're just going to do this anyway. So first things first. I think we just need a site, and we just need some. We're just going to call it. Let's just call it login.html. And we needed some JavaScript. Let's just grab some JavaScript.js. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we are going to let's just call this login.js. So we need to build our form out. So let me just grab my template because I'm not the most on it when it comes to writing HTML. Give me 2 secs. We're opening that up. We go to my get rid of all that. We need that. Just grabbing some bits and pieces. Form. Just gonna put a div. I'll just find the body. Where's the end of the body? There it is there. We don't need any style sheets or any sort of junk like that. My custom login form. Alright, let's just paste that in like so. So, Joey Jojo Jr. Shabadoo. Alright, so what we need to do now is we need to now create our login form. So we need some text fields. I'm just going to wrap, we don't even need to wrap them inside a div, to be honest. I've just added my login, so we can just do that. So it's login.js. We're just going to call that JavaScript and we'll just run it from that. Yeah, so we're just going to do some inputs. Just going to have some input fields. So let's just go username. Input. Let's just go ID is username. Login username. Let's just put a placeholder in there and just go login. You just go username. And that's pretty much that. So let's just then do a BR, break that row. Password MFA pin. Like so. Pin. And then we go password. Okay, so now we've got our goodness. Let's just make sure it runs. It's first things first, save it. Okay, sorry. Let's just reveal an explorer. Let's run it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just drag that down. So we got our username, we got our password, we got our MFA pin. That looks good. We need one more thing, which is a button to log in. So let's create a button element. Let's just go BR, and then we just create a button element to log in. So what we need there, I'm just going to go back to my template because I need to think about what I need to do. So we just go button, and then we're going to go ID is equal and underscore login. I'll just go button login. Type as a button on click. So I'm just going to define my on click. We're just going to call it a login method in JavaScript, or login function in JavaScript. That's pretty much it. I don't think there's really much else. So if we jump back to our login, if we jump back to our login, I'm just gonna go. Just gonna drag that back down here. There's my login button. Quite small because we actually got to add some text to it. So let's add some text. Like so, if we refresh page over here, refresh it. Well, just Control F5. Nope. Why is that not playing ball? That's why. There we put it. So I was just using the attribute. That's not correct. So if we refresh it, bingo. So username, password, MFA pin, login. Good. We are good to go. So we can log in. We got our pins and our bits and pieces. You can obviously type in there. I'm not doing any sort of over the top stuff here. So now we've got that. We can actually just make sure our JavaScript's triggering. So we can just go function, login. Let me just go alert. Yep. I'll just do that. Make sure that's working. I'll make sure it's triggering. Okay, it's not triggering, so I just F12. Make sure what's going on here. Pause on exceptions. Okay, yeah. If we go have a look at the console, we should see. Yeah, okay. Login's not defined. Okay, that's fine. Oh, the reason why is probably because I need to refresh it. Nope, something's not right. I think it's not because I'm referencing it correctly. That's fine. So I'm just going to F12 out, escape out of that. And we can go from here. So we can just probably just do that and we can do with it. So I think I'll just quickly check, make sure that's working. Yep, sweet. So now we need to actually stringify. We need to basically get those element IDs and then just build an object out. So that's pretty easy. So we'll just call it var object. Actually, I just realized we need some response, so we'll get to that part. So we'll just go var object. We need to build an object, so we're just going to go username. So if we go have a look back at our thing, we can just pretty much do this. So it's just username, password, and MFA pin, like so. It's pretty much just looks, yeah, it's fairly straightforward. So then we just need to get the element ID. So document.get element by ID, and then we just go dot value, like so. And then we just need to get the username. So if we go back here, we can just go login username. And then put a comma at the end. Then we're going to do the password. Then we're going to do the MFA pin, like so. So like so. Once we've done that, now we've got it as an object. Now we can stringify it. So what we need to do here is we need to make some JSON. So we just go like so. That'll pass it as JSON. We'll just use an alert. Yeah, we'll just use an alert. So from that, now we will need to talk to our REST interface. So what we need to do here. Okay, so I'm just kind of going from what I wrote previously. It's not something I hate JavaScript guys. So I need to make an Xml Http request. So what I'm doing is I'm just building out a REST query. So now I'm defining a property that basically ready state change is equal to function. So I'm just specifying it, and in PowerShell I'm just specifying a script block. Define the response. So we're just going to try pass the response. Actually, no, we're not even going to do that. We're just going to pass it. I'm not going to even pass it. I'm just going to just do an alert. So let's just make sure that the ready state's good. So this dot ready state is equal to 4, and the status is equal to 200, like so. So basically we've got a 200 response. It's always going to give a 200, so it doesn't really matter. But that's just something that it's just good programming to obviously validate the status codes. So if object, so what we're going to do is just do an alert, and all we're going to do is go this dot response text, and that's basically the HTML that's sent back as text. So that's pretty much it in terms of that. So now all we need to do is actually open the request. So open the method, which is a post. URL, yeah, we probably want to grab that. I'm just going to define that up here because URL. So like so. Grab that. that's good. So we got our URL. Probably should chuck a semicolon at the end of that. Put that there, our URL. So we got our so that's that item will be URL, and then we're just going to say, is it asynchronous? And I'll be like, yes, I want it to be asynchronous. And then we're going to set the content header. So we just need to set a request header. So we can just go content type is application.json. And then the final one is .send with the body. We need the body. Where's the body? And the body is JSON. Like so, except because I'm in PowerShell land, I'm dollaring everything. That is, if you dollar stuff in this, it's basically jQuery. So that should work. Let's give it a go and see how we go. So we've done all the bits and pieces. Let's see how we go. So let's find that. Yep. Obviously, I'm just going to refresh it. Control 5. Okay, username. We're just going to go to that. Password is that. Password that. So we're just going to hit login. It's running now. So remember, it's an asynchronous. So it is running. Obviously, for user form logins and things like that, you'll probably gray out a div or, disable the elements. In this instance, I'm just going to do that. Yep. There we go. Perfect. So we've got our JavaScript, REST, automation, hybrid runbook worker. We've got this full connection between those systems now with MFA. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to test our login. So we're going to go Barry White. We're going to go our password is password, remember? And then our MFA pin. I can actually get the MFA pin. Is 596831. Like so, and we hit login, and we wait. It is it's running. Obviously, it's running asynchronously, so I'm kind of like, I don't know if it's working or not. But it is running, so it's going through that hybrid runbook worker, and then it's coming back with a response. So we can actually validate that. As you can see, there's my my response. It's triggered the runbook worker, and we can see there's our username, there's our password, there's MFA secret, and there's our cool data. So that's pretty much it in terms of this little project that I need for the runbook for the BrizPug group. So I think, yeah, we can probably call it quits. I can probably make it a little bit prettier. We can probably make some element graying, things like that. But for this purpose, we're just going to kind of stick with that. So you can see there, triggering that REST endpoint. It's basically going to our runbook interface. So, yep, got it. So we can actually see these runs. So if we go back to our overview, we can see that last one there. That's ran. We can see those details that basically ran. So that's all fine. And then basically if we go back to our BrizPug and then we go to our PowerShell server, we can see that the hybrid runbook workers ran. And through here, so you can see that that's run. We've got some input. We've got our user password and then our output here. Yeah, and that's basically obviously run on our hybrid runbook server, so we can actually, and that's basically run it down on here. And yeah, that's pretty cool actually. Yeah, it's a pretty cool thing. So basically, I've got my little Windows box here, and from that I was able to execute PowerShell completely disconnected in some sense, but basically do an authentication process with MFA using Azure technologies. So I think I'm going to leave it there. I think there's not really much else to mention. If you guys liked it, leave a comment, put a like or something like that. I think, yeah, this is just a small project. Obviously, there's other things that we can do with Logic Apps and automation. So also, if you do like it, let me know what you want in the suggestion. Just comment in a suggestion what we want to add to that. But as a basic kind of project, I think that's a really good win for us. Couple of takeaways from this. So when you do install scripts are installed to C, program files, Windows PowerShell under scripts in this /scripts. I didn't know that. That was a pain to find, but we've obviously found it, so I'm happy. Other things that we had to take home was the fact that We had obviously issues with Microsoft Edge when it comes to actually connecting to using Logic Apps and OMS. So don't use Edge because you're going to have issues. I think that's about it. Thanks guys for joining us. I think that was really good. That was a really good win. I thought this was going to take a little bit longer, but it didn't, and we got it on time really well. So thanks guys, and don't forget to subscribe and like, and if you want to see more of this, also comment in the comments below and what else you want to see, and we can go from there. Anyway, thanks guys.